In this YouTube channel, I share my speaking sample answers. If you listen to them, you might notice that I usually follow similar strategies to extend my answers. In this video, I'm going to teach you a very useful technique which helps you give much better answers to part 3 of the IELTS speaking questions. It can help you speak at length, justify your answers, and get a higher score. At the end of this video, I will give you some questions to answer to learn the technique better. This technique is called AREA. AREA is an acronym that stands for answer, reason, example, and alternative. The goal of using this technique is to give a complete and coherent answer that doesn't ramble on for too long and doesn't stop short of a full reply. The first A is for the answer. This means to give a direct answer to the question. Don't worry about complex grammar or fancy vocabulary just yet. This is the time to simply and clearly state your honest reply to the question. The R is for reason. This means you should spend a sentence or two explaining why you feel this way. Here, you can go into more details and perhaps include more interesting grammar, such as a subordinate clause. The E is for example. It's exactly how it sounds. Give an example of what you are talking about. However, be sure not to use for example every time. Instead, practice using a few different ways of introducing an example before your test. Try for instance, or one example is. The final A is for alternative. This is the only letter in our acronym that is optional, but if you choose to use it, it can be a useful tool that can boost the effectiveness of your answer. Giving an alternative is a great strategy for IELTS speaking and writing because many of the issues they ask you about have two sides. Being able to examine both sides of a difficult question can show off your fluency if done correctly. Try starting with that said or, on the other hand, to signal your transition. Now let's look at an example. The question is, what effects can watching television have on children? One possible answer is, I suppose watching a lot of television can be harmful to kids. It is a sedentary activity after all, so children aren't moving while they do it. I guess watching too much television might even lead to health problems because our bodies need movement to stay healthy. For instance, I read an article that said kids who watch more than an hour of TV each day are at higher risk for diabetes. On the other hand, I know there are a lot of useful educational shows on television as well, so it's not all bad. Did you notice the way this answer followed the AREA technique? The first step was to answer. I suppose watching a lot of television can be harmful to kids. Next, we gave a reason. It is a sedentary activity after all, so children aren't moving while they do it. I guess watching too much television might even lead to health problems because our bodies need a movement to stay healthy. Then we gave an example. For instance, I read an article that said kids who watch more than an hour of TV each day are at higher risk for diabetes. And finally, we talked about an alternative. On the other hand, I know that there are a lot of useful educational shows on television as well, so it's not all bad. Now it's your turn. I've written these questions in the caption for you to answer them with AREA technique. Okay, that's about it. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Band 9 sample answers. Do take care and bye-bye for now.